Hi, and welcome back. We had some fun conversations in the comments, and so today I'm going to talk about buying your first investment property here in the Cincinnati area. And much of this may apply to other cities, but we are going to get a little bit specific. Hi, I'm Rhonda with Comey and Shepherd Realtors, and let's just dive right in. This is a very broad topic, and so I can only focus on so many things, but I think the first and most important thing to really define is, what do you want to do as far as investments? Because you have like single family rentals, you have multi-family rentals, you also have flipping opportunities, wholesaling, which not sure how long that's going to actually be a thing here in Ohio. They have tried to sort of outlaw it, get rid of it, but that is still an option to the best of my knowledge. And we'll get into that a little bit more, but you just need to know, like, this is not for the faint at heart. Financing. Now, there's four kind of major types of financing, and I'm just gonna lay this out for you. So the first one is cash. Pretty easy. You have enough cash to drop into a property and get it ready for rental or rehab for flip. The second type is a conventional loan. Now, if you are not living in the property, you will need a little bit more money down. I think it's 25%, though check with your lender, but that is also a good option. The third type is FHA. Now, again, if you are living in the property, you can do just 3.5% down. How do I do that as an investment? Multifamily. Live in one unit, rent out the others. I believe you can also buy an FHA investment property. It just needs a little more money down to make that happen. And number 4 is hard money. And this is the one that people don't typically know about. I love hard money because you can buy properties that maybe you could not get financed conventionally or by any sort of bank, because there's maybe mold, or there's a hole in the wall, or there's no appliances, or no utilities at all. Like, these things happen. But also, hard money loans are great for flippers because they can be very short term. They can also give you fix-up money, so they will help you get everything you need to make this property ready. So it's usually a short closing time. I would say usually 3 weeks. And the great thing about hard money is they are looking at the house. Do the numbers work? Will that house actually, if you fix it up, will it be worth what they need to get back out of it? Because they don't want to end up with a property that they can't turn around and sell. So once you have your plan in place and you know how you're going to finance, I think the next step is going to be finding that location. You really want to focus on stable markets. You want to look for cities that have strong job growth, population growth, and amenities. If you're looking for high growth areas here in the Cincinnati area, I recommend Liberty Township, Westchester, maybe Mason. These are all really stable areas with really good appreciation potential. These areas are also very desirable for families and have good school districts. You also want to consider affordable areas with good cash flow. So places like Fairfield and Norwood, where you're just outside of maybe some other really popular areas. They often have a little bit lower entry costs, but strong rental demand. And then we want to make sure that we are researching these areas. Once we think we have chosen maybe a couple of areas that we're interested in, we want to look for low vacancy rates, good schools, and also consider proximity to downtown and or areas that have a large group of employees or employers. And I really do recommend that you are watching that market for a little while to, see seasonality. You want to make sure that you are listing a home for rent for the first time in the right season. I do not recommend listing one in December or January if you don't have to. That's usually a slower time for rents here. But let's take a moment and talk about short-term rentals. So your short-term rental is typically going to be the same renter for less than 30 days. So you think Airbnb, VRBO, or a vacation type rental. Now, midterm rentals are going to be more your 3 to 6 months. So maybe a student or traveling nurses, or somebody's here for job purposes, but it's a short-term assignment, or they need it until they can get a house built, or something like that. There's all sorts of reasons that people might need housing in that 3 to 6, maybe even 9-month range. And then just to be clear, your long-term it could be 6 to 9 months, but most people are expecting that 1-year lease when they're looking at long-term rentals. But let's talk about where you would put a short-term rental. So we do have Kings Island, tennis tournament, which all of that is up in Warren County in the Mason area. And Mason is a very challenging place, unfortunately, to find availability for short-term rentals. Most everything is in a subdivision and HOAs do not allow them. I haven't found one yet that allows it. You might have to find something in an older community that doesn't have an HOA, or off a random road somewhere that's nearby. Another good place would be, down in like over the Rhine. Very close to downtown, very historic area, something's always going on. It's kind of the Bourbon Street of Cincinnati. It's not that there aren't short-term rentals down there, but it's hard to then get into that now. Many of those buildings have been renovated. Some are condos, some are multifamilies. If you can buy the whole building, then you can do whatever you want. But if you are buying something like just one unit of a building, many times it's not allowed, though there's always that exception. So you gotta make sure you read the HOA rules. Some other places that might be good options are other things surrounding that downtown area, like Columbia Tusculum, or maybe East Walnut Hills, maybe even Oakley. Those would be great areas, and those are typically not going to have HOAs. They're older homes on older streets, so maybe a little more upkeep, but no HOA issues. Now, there are a few areas that are looking at limiting how short-term rentals work. I don't know if they ever passed anything for sure, but just know that there are going to be those places that you're not welcome to put a short-term rental. Certainly, we can delve into it more once you identify an area and what it is that really interests you. Important things to know before you dive in. Things like cap rates and cash flow and the BRRRR method. If you start researching, all of these things are going to come up. So let me just give you a quick primer. Your cap rate is going to help you understand if this is a good investment property. It's a good metric to help you evaluate your investment. You divide the property's net income. A good cap rate here in this area is going to be 7 to 10%. Cash flow. You want to make sure that after all your expenses, which are mortgage, taxes, maintenance, insurance, that your property will still generate positive cash flow. My suggestion is on a single family home, you want at least $200 per month in cash flow to make it even worth your while. And then you have to start thinking about what's next in your strategy. People use this thing called the BRRRR method: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. So they basically are using money from that first house to help get the second house. And that just helps them grow their portfolio. So again, I think it's really important to figure out what your goals are to help you choose where to even start. So I know this is just kind of a brief preview of investing, but if you're in the Cincinnati area and you would like to learn more about investing, reach out. We'd love to help you get connected with some of the local investor groups, and they can probably help you define a little more of what you would like to do in investing, and also help you get that first investment property. But do you have any questions? Do you have questions about areas that I can help you with? Certainly reach out or start a conversation in the comments below, and we will see you next time.